And we close our eyes and bow our heads to pray. Holy Spirit, hover above the chaos of this land and make new this world. Rest on us and change us. Give us peace that we may share it gladly. Forgive us that we may forgive others gently. Send us out that we may care for the weak graciously. Spirit of God, Lord and giver of life, moving between us and around us like the wind or water or fire, breathe into us your freshness, that we may awake, cleanse our vision that we may see more clearly, kindle our senses that we may feel more sharply, and give us the courage to live as you would have us live, through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Likewise, members of the public are welcome, but should be aware that they should not interrupt the proceedings, as disruption result in removing from the public gallery. The rules of conduct for the meeting are being circulated in advance. A copy is provided on the desk. Apologies for absence.
Madam Mayor, we have apologies from Councillor Mark Aldred, who may be late this evening, Councillor Bill Clark, Councillor Mike Dewhurst, Councillor Shirley Dewhurst, Councillor Lynn Holland, Councillor Paul Prescott, Councillor Jeanette Prescott, Councillor Jim Talbot, Councillor Whittingham, Councillor Hodgkinson, Councillor Churton, Councillor Sam Murphy. Have we any other apologies, please?
Minutes of the council meeting 2019. I need the acceptance of these as a correct record. Leader. Can I put the minutes to the vote? All those in favour of accepting the minutes, please show. That is carried. Mayor's announcements. Wigan Council named the third most efficient council in the country. I am proud to report that Wigan Council has ranked the third most productive council in the UK in a report released in December. The Iron Power lists rank 150 authorities, so this is an excellent achievement, and it is a credit to how we have embraced new ways of working, while still providing excellent services to residents as part of the deal. Queen's birthday and New Year's honours. May I congratulate Joan Briston on being awarded the BEN in the July Honours list for services to the community. May I also congratulate Mike Hamilton, our lead businessman, on being awarded the OBE for services to young people. Congratulations to Joan and Mike on these prestigious awards. New star for Bleed Square. I would like to congratulate Martin Ainsdale, DLCVE, on being awarded a star on the Bleed Square to celebrate his outstanding services to Wigan. Martin has been particularly active in the charitable and local community field since retiring from his family's crane business. Well done to Martin on this award. In Bloom Award results. I am pleased to report that Wigan Borough has won 38 awards in the North West in Bloom competition. This is the best that Wigan has ever done, and a full list of the awards has been circulated to all members of the Council in advance of this meeting. The Council also managed to retain its Silver Gilt and Best Category status. Congratulations go to Shannington in Bloom, who have been put forward to the main British in Bloom competition for next year. And can I say well done to all those involved in the Bloom Awards. Parliament League. Following on from the success of 2016 and 17's Big Borough Debate, Wigan Council held another debate for young people this year to coincide with UK Parliament Week, which took place in November. Representatives from each participating school debating the following topic: all the treatments and recovery available for young people affected by mental health issues, accessible enough. The event was again a huge success, and thank you all who took part. Public Health Chief First to join Elite Fund. Can I congratulate Professor Kate Adern on making it into the Health Service Journal 100 list. Well done to Kate on this achievement. Street Lighting Team National Award. Can I also congratulate the Street Lighting Team on being awarded the Most Improved Performer at the APSE Awards 2018 for its excellence in public service. Mayor's Ball. Can I advise members that the Mayor's Ball will be held on Saturday the 13th of April 2019 and will be held at Killy Court, Worthington. The event will again be organised by the Charity Committee. It is Black Tie Ball, and the proceeds from the event will go to the Mayor's Charity, which this year is Darien House, a children's hospital. Further details will be sent to you shortly by the charity trustees. Death of former Mayoress Margaret Hull. It is with deep regret that I refer to the death on the 27th of September 2018 of former Mayoress Margaret Hull. Margaret was Deputy Mayoress in 1983 to 84 and Mayoress in 1984 to 85, with her husband Peter being Mayor. The funeral service will be held tomorrow at 12:45 at the Chapel of St. Clair's Funeral Directors, followed by burial at Lee Cemetery at 1:30 p.m. I now invite members of the Council to express their condolences in respect of the former Mayoress Margaret Hull. Councillor Peter Smith, would you like to speak, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's probably not many members of the Council left who remember Peter Hull or Margaret Hull. Peter was a long-standing Lee councillor, and as you said, he served as Deputy Mayor and Mayor of Lee in 1984. Unfortunately, nothing went wrong in 1984, as George Orwell predicted, so they had a very good and successful year. And Margaret was a really important part of that team because she was a lovely person, like you, Madam Mayor, always elegantly dressed, always friendly. Therefore, in a sense, going out and meeting people was just an ideal role for Margaret to play. She did so well and supportive of Peter. In 1980, we had a reorganisation of wards, and Peter became a ward colleague of mine with a guy called George MacDonald, again, not many people remember George. And these are two long-serving Lee councillors. So in the election in 1980, of course, this new upstart, in those days, without grey hair, but I was bottom of the poll. So in 1982, I had to be the first one up for election. And I remember Margaret, because she was very active in the local women's section of a party, and she said, "I'll help you get well known. On Easter Monday, we have an Easter bonnets parade, and you can judge the bonnets." Perhaps unwisely, I accepted this challenge with my wife, so we went along, and we thought at first, of course, you were judging bonnets in terms of their artistic ability, the quality of the product, you know, all of those kind of things you'd expected, but of course that wasn't the case. You really should have gone for the most popular of the things. We did redeem it towards the end because most of the models with their Easter bonnets have been, you know, young girls, 10, under 50, that kind of age group. But one was a lady of petite size who was active in the club, and she was always called, I never knew any other name, it was always called Little Peggy. And Little Peggy, same size as her, entered this competition for the best Easter bonnet. And we realised that this was the one. It wasn't necessarily the most artistic one or even the one best constructed, but clearly when we nominated for the best award in the final category, Peggy was an all-out winner, and I'm sure it helped get me re-elected a few months later. I was never asked again. And finally, Madam Mayor, just to say that she was really kind and put to myself and my wife Joy on a personal basis, and our daughter Anna was born in '83, and so when it came to October '84, I remember this, it was her first birthday, and Peter and Margaret particularly, was the greatest of these things, invited us to the Mayor's Parlour in Lee. My mother came, and Auntie and Anna was there showing off. I'm not saying it even one, but she was showing off. And Peter, again, and Margaret were just so delightful hosts and really nice to be with. And it's a memory I've got for a long time. And actually, I was once in Lee Town Hall, sat on the dais, and there are all sorts of old drawers there. And I can't remember what music was, Collins, but it was a bit boring. So I looked in the drawer in front of me, and there was the Mayor's book for that year and for that particular time. So those people who'd come to Anna's were signed in the Mayor's book. So that was nice. So as I said, Margaret was a lovely person. She was very active locally in Lee, and she lived to a fantastic age. And we send our condolences to her family, and I'll try and get that to Nancy.
Thank you. Right, at this point, may I ask those present to stand for a moment's silence, please, in this way. Thank you. Declarations of interest. The monitoring officer has provided advice to all members and relevant guidance has been issued. Members are asked to consider relevant interest for the purpose of the meeting and if there are any interest, members must leave the room during the relevant item. Please fill out the form on your desk if you do need to declare an interest, and return this to Christine at the end of the meeting. Update on Cabinet portfolio holders. I invite a leader to speak at this point on the Wigan Council being shortlisted in the Council of the Year category in the LGC Awards 2019. Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Considering it's the first year of the year, I felt it's not just to talk about the Council's nominations for this very prestigious award, but to start to look at the awards we've received over certainly the last 12 months. And there are many awards in there. You mentioned earlier in the meeting about the street lighting team. I know our socials care team up at Mayfield have won and been nominated for awards. Our digital process that we go through. And I just think we should start the year off by saying a big thank you to our staff. I said the number of years that we look at the awards that we've won as a council, and it's not here to pat ourselves on the back, but to pat on the back and to thank our staff. Because our staff have been absolutely fantastic in what we've gone through since the draconian cuts that this council has had to face. If it hadn't been for the support of our staff, we would have never achieved any of the awards and accolades that we've received. But part of the work and dedication that we've seen is so good that I'd like to say they're probably the best staff who work in local government, and particularly, as I see on a regular basis, they're certainly the best, certainly in the North West, if not the country. But on the other side of it is some of the abuse that we have to take. Both verbal, we take it on social media, and unfortunately this last 12 months, we've seen attacks on staff. Frontline staff going about their jobs on a daily basis, providing the best possible service and support that they can give to our residents. And in fact, sometimes we see verbal attacks in this council chamber which are totally unnecessary. And what I'd like to place on record, and I think everyone in this room should support this, is that we thank our staff for all the efforts that they have done and for all the work that they've put in, because I certainly believe our staff are second to none. So a big thank you from me as the leader of this council, and I hope that you'll all support that in thanking the staff for all the good work that they do. Thank you, Madam.
Morality. I invite the leader to move a recommendation.
Thank you, Madam
Leader.
Excuse me.
Councillor Wheeler.
Yes, I wonder if I could speak on that.
Councillor Beasley. Nobody else can speak on this until the leader has spoken.
So we can't hand it out to the council then? I just feel like
You
it's...
cannot speak on item 5. You cannot speak. Councillor Wheeler, you cannot speak on item 5. Please be seated. Leader.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moving swiftly on, I'd like to nominate that the proper right person to be, I think this is for the deputy mayor, is it not?
Yeah.
For the mayor. I'd like to move that the mayor for the next municipal year will be Councillor Steve Dauber, who is a fit and proper person to become the mayor of Wigan.
Leader.
I'm going to do the second one now. And I'd also like to move that Councillor Mike McLaughlin be the deputy mayor for the forthcoming municipal year, as I believe Councillor McLaughlin is a fit and proper person to become the deputy mayor of the Metropolitan Borough of Wigan for the next municipal year.
Thank you. Members should note that this appointment, sorry, I do apologise. Do any other members wish to contribute? Councillor Wheeler, not Wheeler. Councillor Green.
Regarding Moore, it's always been recommended that you have to serve 3 terms of office, which would be eligible as you to be nominated for the rest of. Why has this changed? And yet we're having fit and proper people to be either the mayor or the deputy mayor. I think that's a bit insulting, Councillor Molyneux, against any opposition, because there's opposition people who are fit and proper to be mayor, to represent this borough, and I think they should have the opportunity to do that, because I feel they're just being biased all the time. But the councillors here who served 3 terms of office, I've served 4. I mean, sorry?
Can we have one speaker at a time, please?
I'll tell you what, Fred, I'm a better man than you. Shoot the hands of Prince Charles, pal, because they recognise my
Councillor Brewer,
you're not working by it, but I was.
Please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Right, is there anybody else wish to speak on this? No. All those in favour of Councillor McLaughlin being nominated as Deputy Mayor for 2019-20, please show. Against? And that is carried. Constitutional issues. Standards ad hoc subcommittee, outcome of hearing, CL 77.71. We have a report on page 19 of the agenda which sets out a decision taken by the Standards ad hoc subcommittee in relation to Councillor Brewer. The matter before members is to determine whether to accept the recommendation of the decision of the Standards ad hoc subcommittee held on the 19th of November. The subcommittee resolves as follows: that council be recommended to remove Councillor Brewer from sitting on any committees for the remainder of this term of office of May 2020. The report requests council to agree the recommendations. Is the recommendations moved? I invite Councillor Rigby to speak on the decision as it relates to Councillor Brewer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just in way of explanation as to what we're asking. One of the main functions of the Standards Committee is to promote and maintain high standards of conduct by members. We use various methods to achieve higher standards: members' seminars, guidance notes, up-to-date changes to policies and procedures, and training sessions. All members are aware of the Members' Code of Conduct and the Member Officer Protocol and have signed up to abide by these. The changes to the standards regime since 2011 have greatly limited the powers of the Standards Committee. One of the main problems we find is that the system does not work as well for repeat offenders. When, as in Wigan's case, we have a member who has had multiple hearings and been found to have breached the Code of Conduct many times. This makes the subcommittee's decisions more difficult as there are a limited number of sanctions available to them. Not only has the committee a duty to promote and maintain high standards, we have to ensure there is confidence the council are taking all complaints seriously, whether the complaints have been made by officers of the council or members of the public. The sanction the subcommittee has brought to members is that the council is recommended to remove Councillor Brewer from sitting on the committees, on any committees, for the remainder of his term of office, which is in May 2020. This sanction reflects the seriousness of the findings and hopefully encourages Councillor Brewer into complying with the Code of Conduct in future. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor. Is this seconded?
I'd like to second, Madam Mayor.
Right. Do any other members wish to contribute on the decision? Councillor Rupert, does any other members wish to contribute on the decision?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I hope you all had a good Christmas and a New Year. I'm sure we've all enjoyed the break. I want to speak on this hearing, Madam Mayor, and I don't want to get into whether really the ins and outs of what I believe happened. I just want to talk on facts. And the fact is, this hearing was regarding a statement made by a councillor in which was deemed by the claimant to be defamatory. What I want to demonstrate to this council is why this matter should not have been heard by Standards Committee and why no one in this building has the authority to sanction the councillors in question, and why if the claimant's claims are true, there was a different avenue to take rather than standards. First off, what is defamation?
May I just comment through you, please?
Yes.
The position is that the decision of the Standards Committee was made, that decision stands, it can be challenged only by judicial review.
Yeah.
It can't be subject to an appeal, and the only issue before members tonight, and the only issue for debate, is whether they agree not to or agree to the sanctions being imposed.
I've just given it. Sorry, Janet, I thought you finished.
You can speak as to why you think the sanction may not be imposed, but to go through that, you have to accept that the hearing has made its decision, and that decision is final. Thank you.
Madam, it's like I said, there's no attacks in this speech. It's a slight background just to get to the point on how it works, because the whole point of the sanction was defamation. I didn't agree with it, but this council is... I am explaining, so I'd like if the clock was stopped on this point. I am only putting in, they are being asked to vote on it, so it's just a very slight background on defamation. My second point was how in another system that would work, a high court, which is why and my point's going to be found that how we don't have the authority. I hope I can speak on it, but I'm not going to have a shouting match if I can't. You see, it's on you, Madam Mayor.
Right, Councillor Jones.
Yes.
You've got 3 minutes to speak, and you can only speak on why you don't think the sanction should go through.
Okay, no problem. Right, okay, Madam Mayor, I might as well put that to one side. Why the sanction shouldn't go through? Well, plain and simple, it's illegal to sanction councillors. Why do we know this? We know this because we have 2 government ministers' letters, people who worked on the Localism Act, that say, rightly or wrongly, we're just talking legislation, you cannot sanction a councillor, you can only censure a meaning, you can put it in the paper if found guilty, you can put a leaflet out in the local ward, but you can't sanction them. The whole point of why this would go to a High Court judge is because it's so important of their qualification. We don't have that type of authority. I'm not going, you've said I can't speak on the case, so I'll leave that at there. I will make one final point then, Madam. Today's the 9th of January, and we're hearing that you can sanction councillors. Charles, you're like me, you're not a solicitor, and you're being advised like I am. I totally, but it has felt now that to pass this. We're being told by people who again are looking at the Localism Act and they're putting in their belief on it. 12 months ago today, they told you a councillor had resigned and nothing happened, and 12 months later, they're again speaking how they see it, saying you can sanction. If it doesn't say it in the Localism Act, it's because you can't do it. Councillor Briley, if he does what I do, seeks a judicial review, and please don't take this as a threat, will win, backed up by government ministers, and a recent case law where a councillor won because it doesn't say it in legislation, and that will end in not looking good for yourselves. It will end in more taxpayers' money being paid out in legal fees. Let's leave it to the courts to decide things like this, even abstain, but if you vote, you were knowingly voting an illegal sanction by people who were passing it to you because they know it's illegal. Councillor Winstanley in the previous hearing didn't pass sanctions and at the time didn't believe he could. I don't know what's changed, but something obviously has. Let's seek some independent legal advice before we do it. Don't listen to me. In this case, I'm sorry, I won't listen to our legal team. No problem. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Councillor George Burrows.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Sorry about that. I've been at the council for going on 15 years. And I can't understand why every time somebody goes to this standards board, it's an independent councillor. Never a Labour councillor, never. In 15 years I've known. Two I know should have gone to the standards board. But didn't, it was all hushed up and that. It's all, I'm supporting the vote, I'm not supporting the person who sat behind me, because apparently said something about me or my son or whatever, which should talk out of order. But what I can't understand is why it is always somebody on this side who ends up at the standards board, and these goodies never end up anywhere. Probably they don't do as much work as us, I don't know. Thank you.
Councillor Winstanley.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Councillor Winstanley, I'll have to ask Councillor Naden. Your name?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate that. Yeah, with all democracies, there becomes a set of rules what must be in place, because if we don't have them set of rules in place, like a republic, we get what you call mob rule. And that is exactly what this is. You could pinpoint somebody out and say, what about tomorrow you decide, okay, Councillor Brealey can't be on any of these committee places. You've got the numbers, you've got the democracy, but with every democracy, there should be a code of rules and laws in place where you cannot pick on somebody and say, democratically, we vote that Bob Brealey never attends this meeting here again, ever, never comes to this meeting again, can never be a leader in a group. Can never be this, can never be that. What I want to know is, these code of conduct meetings are nothing but quangos, and I represented Councillor Brealey in one. I've represented lots of people over the years in probability law, with trade union law, and he told me it was probability law. None of you know what probability law is, because the probability of somebody doing something has to be balanced by the probability of somebody not doing something, and that is never taken into account in any of these meetings. And on the other note, who oversees you, Councillor Bigby? Who oversees you whether you're doing things right? Because when I came to one of them meetings, there was a Labour Party member who put a code of conduct complaint in, and you never declared an interest. You were a Labour Party member with Councillor McLaughlin, and not one of you said we have a conflict of interest here, which you should have declared. Because how you could sit there as an independent and judge an independent against a Labour Party member is a disgrace.
Councillor, can we please get back to the motion that was reading out here, please?
Of course, and I'm explaining why people's rights as an individual should be protected rather than this group mentality.
Just one moment, I'm going to bring legal in here.
Excellent, bring them on.
I think Councillor Mason, the problem is that what you're talking about is your beliefs on the Code of Conduct.
No, the facts I'm dealing with. You can deal with beliefs if you want.
You're not addressing the substantive issue before the Council.
I'm an elected member. I'll talk about what I want. I have 5 minutes here. I'm elected by the people. You're an employee. You can give your advice to the Mayor and I choose to take it. I have 5 minutes to talk about Mickey Mouse in my shoes.
Mayor, I find
yes, I do. And you lot don't know about the Localism Act and the
No, just one moment. Can I ask you to stop speaking? No, I will not tolerate this sort of behaviour or this sort of language with one another. Respect in this room. If you want to continue to speak, by all means do so. But one miscount of words once more, I will stop you. No, it's up to you. Please carry on what we are speaking about, with no disrespect.
I've not disrespected people, I've
You've disrespected one of the officers, which I'm not very happy about. No, I will not sit here arguing with you. Either carry on speaking or please sit down.
She said it was my beliefs.
Your time is taken away, and this is so important to you. Speak on the matter now, please.
Okay, then, well, I'll get back to my point. These code of conducts with these independent investigators, how much are they costing the taxpayer of this town? And all it is to name and shame and demonise somebody. It needs to stop. The Localism Act came in, so this sort of behaviour couldn't go on and you couldn't demonise and pick on an individual, and that's what's going on here. So I'd advise you all to read the Localism Act before you make this decision, because these decisions will come back and haunt you. Why can't legal make this decision? Why are they passing this book on to elected councillors? Why are they moving this decision over to you lot? Just have a little think about that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Winston.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I do want to address the issue of the recommendation before us tonight, because that's obviously that's come to full council, and if it helps Councillor Maiden, the reason why this particular decision has come to us is because the only full council can determine who and who doesn't sit on committees. So that's obviously the reason why it has come to full council. What I did want to talk about was in terms of what we are being faced with is something that we can do under the Localism Act. It is entirely as part and parcel of that, and I have done quite a lot of research into it, having chaired a standards hearing. So the administrative arrangements that we can see before us in the report are all processes that can be undertaken quite legally by the council. What they can't do is remove any councillor from being a councillor, and that was very explicit within the Localism Act. What we've also heard about is that there has been a well-known case where a councillor did take a council to court because they actually dealt with a case under the grievance procedure and disciplinary procedure rather than following the Code of Conduct. So what we are looking at is the Code of Conduct. Now, the Conservative group did discuss this in some great detail before this meeting. We do want to encourage proper behaviour and improvements in standards. And I know Councillor Rigby has said that one of the reason why they've got this recommendation is to encourage members to comply with the Code of Conduct. The problem that we have with the length of this particular sanction is that it actually takes Councillor Brearley right up until his term of office, and the same with the administrative procedures. So in essence, it makes it extremely difficult for him to carry on his job as a local councillor. What we would have liked to have seen, and this is a general point, is that we have a ban on removing someone from a committee from a certain point. If there is no improvement of behaviour or even an apology or whatever was determined by the Standards Committee hasn't therefore followed, then that would come back and then we could have an extension, because as it stands at the moment, really there's no incentive to improve your behaviour, because in essence there's not a lot more as a Standards Committee we can come back with in any way, shape or form. So that was the view of the group, and that's why we actually won't be supporting this particular recommendation. We would have preferred to see a more staggered approach to that, to see if there had been some improvements and then come back. So, Madam Mayor, that's why I wanted to speak on that and address that particular issue in terms of the recommendation that we're looking at this evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Brearley, may I remind you, if you're going to speak, You've got to declare an interest.
I'll declare an interest then. Okay.
Noted.
Non-depressive or whatever it is.
Right, Councillor Brewer.
Right. I wish to thank my fellow colleagues for speaking out on this. There's a major factor in all this. I do operate within the standards code of conduct. It's when people go out there and tell blatant lies. Now, what I put on that Facebook site was my...
I'm just going to break Councillor Brewer. I'm bringing legal into when you mentioned Facebook. Legal, please.
Councillor Brewer, it's the same issue again. You can talk about why you don't want the sanction to be imposed, or why you don't want to be removed from committee for 2 years, or also until 2020. But you're addressing the actual body of the decision, and the decision has been made. It was a constitutionally sound decision. Despite what others say, it was a legally sound decision. So you can't talk behind the actual decision making. What you can talk about is...
No, I think the people should get the full facts of my actions.
The decision has been made, Councillor Brewer. This is not...
No, it's not, Dan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mayor, I think the position is that it's not a rehearing. The decision has been made. He was found to breach the code of conduct. You can certainly speak about why he should or shouldn't be.
Just one moment.
I follow
Councillor Brewer, please. Just one moment. And everybody else across this side of the room that are speaking. Don't be rude and let the person speak. Legal, would you please repeat that again?
I think the problem is that the issue before the committee tonight, the council tonight, is purely on whether the recommendation should be moved or not. Council really is trying to sort of have a rehearing, if you will, of the decision-making process. He's talking about whether he was responsible or not. The committee sat and heard that he had breached the code of conduct. That was their decision. The decision was, on consequence of that certain sanctions should be imposed, and that's the issue. I don't think Councillor Brewer can talk about the rights and wrongs of whether he did or didn't breach the code of conduct, because the decision has been made that he did.
Now, you've heard legal advice, Councillor Brewer. Do you wish to continue speaking?
Yes, I do, Madam.
Then please keep to...
All can I request is, I want to see it in black and white, which I keep requesting this, where this council, this legal department can place sanctions on it. And then we'll show up. We just want to see it in black and white. I'm dyslexic. I've asked the officer, it's a 500-page document. I can't read 500 pages. Can you point me out to the section where it says you can do this?
Councillor Brewer, I've just had the information that this has already been sent to you.
It's not.
Recently.
It's not.
Yes, it has. It will be recorded.
Well, can you please resend it, please? Because I've not received it.
I'll make sure that they resend it.
I want the chapter and verse of it.
I will make sure that we will resend it to you.
Regarding what you want to do tonight to me, in the recommendations from Councillor Rigby, where did the evidence say that I said it was a bribe? I said about the money from the Channel Islands. I never said that. I can prove that. And weeks before I made a request that the police had the... Excuse me, madam.
You're not showing a very good example. The legal want to speak to you. Right.
I think the people, the members should get the full facts. I made a request, a legitimate request for an adjournment, because beyond my control, the police took my recordings, which will prove...
Councillor Brewer, you're not here to defend. This is...
I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it, Madam Mayor. I'm just saying you need to know all the facts. I followed the procedure to the letter.
Right, Councillor Brewer, thank you. Would you please sit down? Because this is going too far. Yes, and what's your right of order?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shout over you. One good point, because we're being asked to decide on this, as legal said, the point of should we be given something to show that we actually have the power? Madam, sorry. We haven't actually been given anything which shows us legally whether we can or cannot have the power to sanction a councillor.
It will be in your code of conduct that you will receive that you must have read.
It's a bit bigger than code of conduct. It's legislation. We've not been given anything like that.
Right, does any other members wish to speak?
I'm not finished, Madam Clerk.
Councillor Green, would
One
you
more
please be
question.
seated?
When I get the recordings,
Time
Madam
is
Clerk,
up.
from the police, who is going to answer for what you're going to do to me tonight? Everyone,
Councillor Brewer, if you, this is the first time if I repeat myself, I will say not to be heard.
It will. The evidence is crystal clear in them recordings. I've been in
Your
touch with the
5
police,
minutes
and
is
what
up.
they do
Please
will
be seated.
So who's going to stand that now? You, Councillor Vick. Are you going to stand being prosecuted for misconduct in public office? Because you were telling lies. Telling lies.
Rule Procedure 10 and suspend all business of this
You're a
meeting.
disgrace.
And recommend that this all business be accepted on the motions that they come back to a later date. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I know you've heard what he said. I'm putting that to the vote. Would you please vote on this meeting as ended right now? It will come back at a later date. May I have your vote? All those in favour, please vote. Against? That is carried.
I'll see you court, Councillor Mundy. When I get the recordings, I'll see you in court, pal, and all the rest of them. You're liars. That staff there are liars. All right, they can prove it. Listen to that recording on Facebook about who said what, and it weren't me. You slagged me off in there.
Slagging off any word. Don't start on me.
I know
Don't
you do.
start on me.
I know you do.
Don't start on me. I'm begging you.
Don't threaten me, mate.
You don't threaten me.